Hello guys, and welcome to a new video today. This topic will be on if England shouldn't get cocky despite having a fairly easy route to the World Cup final. Uh, I don't. I'm pretty convinced they can make it to the World Cup final. If I'm being honest, Croatia's good, but I don't really think they can beat England. England's living off the hype of the it's coming home. Uh, I'm kind of starting to buy into it too, if you ask me. Um, you never know what can happen, and I think they'll make it to the final. They have to watch out with Sweden, who is a very good overall team. They played great this World Cup. They finished first in the group, and they beat a fairly good Switzerland team. I believe they'll give England a run for their money in the next coming game. But if you ask me, England, they'll get a bunch of momentum in the next two games leading up to the World Cup final, in which you never know what could happen in a one-game winner takes all. So, yeah, England, for me, they can definitely make the final. But should they not be as cocky? Will it hurt? Being too cocky, will it hurt them? They're gonna debate about if they shouldn't get too cocky. The ESPN FC cast. So throughout the video, I'll stop and comment on what I think.
The headlines, of course, say it all. The front pages in England, never in doubt. The history boys, the hand of George after Jordan Pickford's heroics in the penalty shootout win against Colombia. And it has led to this, gents, which is what I want to talk about. Odds to win the 2018 World Cup now have Brazil. They've always been the favourites, haven't they, all along? Now then, England have joined France. These are according to UK.
Yes, these look fairly good. We can start with Sweden. I think they'll be knocked out in the next round despite having a great World Cup. Russia, they're pretty good, but I think they'll eventually lose to an amazing team of Croatia. Uruguay, they're definitely going to lose to France. News came out today that Cavani will not play in the game. I don't think they will have enough to beat France. Belgium, they can beat Brazil. Brazil, they really haven't impressed me this World Cup. I'm actually surprised that they're number one on this list. Brazil have a good squad, but I don't think they can beat Belgium. Belgium has been playing really good this World Cup as well. Finished first in the group. Had that come from behind win versus Japan, they have a great chance to advance. England, I've said in a previous video that they have a really good chance of winning this World Cup. They have two, I wouldn't say easy, but fairly. They won't have to face tough teams in the next two games. They'll make it to the World Cup final, in my opinion. They'll have a great chance to win it. France is who I would pick to win the World Cup final this year. I picked them before the tournament started. They have, for me, the best team, starting with attack. They have Griezmann and Mbappe up top. They have Dembele coming off the bench. In the middle, they have one of the best center defensive mids, if not the best center defensive mid, in Conte. They have Pogba, Matuidi in the defense. They have Varane, Umtiti, and a really good Theo Hernandez, who has been Lucas Hernandez. I'm sorry, that has played really good in this World Cup. And Pavard has been a breakout star, scoring an amazing goal versus Argentina, one of the best goals of this tournament. And of course, they have Hugo Lloris in goal. For me, they have the best team. And as for Brazil, they have a good team too, but they haven't impressed me that much this World Cup. I don't think they will win.
Makers at 4-1 to win it all, ahead of Belgium, ahead of Croatia, ahead of Uruguay. Russia and Sweden are the rank outsiders according to these odds makers. So Whoa, boy. What was once hope, I think, for England heading into a tournament has now become something a little different. Expectation is...
I think most England fans, when you look, we keep going on about this, that this side of the bracket all the time, or this side of the group stage, they feel that they should beat Sweden. If they do beat Sweden, they've got a really tough game probably in Croatia if they beat Russia, because Croatia have played well in this tournament. They weren't as impressive last game, but they
Yes, Croatia have been playing well in this tournament. Like I said, it will be a really tough game for England. I believe it will go to penalties. Well, no, I don't know. It's a possibility they can go to penalties. These two teams, I just feel like Croatia will control the midfield. But despite that, Harry Kane has been on fire this World Cup. 6 goals in 3 games. You don't know what can happen. It's going to be a good game if those two teams make it to the semifinal.
Impressive throughout the tournament, so it's not a walk in the park by all means, and then they're still going to have to meet one of the better teams on the other side eventually. So, like I suggested, they need to. It's brilliant where England's are.
Oh yes, definitely. They will. It's not. I wouldn't. It's not a walk in the park, but it will be fairly easy for them to win this, to get to the final. But of course, I'm not by any means saying that they will win it, but they have a really good chance of winning it.
And it's fantastic the fact that they could beat Colombia, Sweden and Croatia and reach a World Cup final and never have it as easy as this, I think, in the future.
Yes, I agree. This World Cup has been fairly odd. I've said that if Ronaldo and Messi haven't missed their penalties in the group stage, they would have been on the easy side of the bracket, and potentially either one could have made it to the World Cup final. It's been a really crazy World Cup. A bunch of the good teams have gone out, and a bunch of the, I don't want to say bad, but not as good teams have made it pretty far. There's one side in the bracket where there's only been, I would say, 2 good teams in Spain and England, and Spain is already out. So yes, he's right. England will not have it as easy in the future. This is to get it to a World Cup final. It's fairly easy. It's a fairly easy road to beat Colombia without James, a Sweden team, and Croatia. They won't have it as easy. This is as easy as it gets to get to the World Cup final.
They've got a long way to go, and they have to play better than they did yesterday.
Steve, I know you haven't had a chance to weigh in yet on England's performance. For what you've seen from them in the group and against Colombia yesterday, what justifies that 4-1 odds that you were seeing?
Only because of the bracket they're in. They've played well enough to get where they are. They haven't been scintillating, but considering when the tournament started, nothing was expected, then obviously, the expectations beginning to rise, but you just got to calm down a little bit. The fact is, they've actually lost the game already to Belgium. You could argue it was the reserve sides, and they've beaten Tunisia and Panama. I mean, really?
Well, yes, they did lose to Belgium, and it was fairly obvious they were trying to lose the game. I still don't know why Belgium scored that goal. They would have been on the easy bracket to get. Whoever got second would have made the easy bracket and had an easier final to get to the World Cup final. An easier path to make it to the World Cup final, excuse me. So, they've had a pretty good tournament for me so far. So yeah.
That should have been a given anyway. And Colombia without the star man. So, they haven't exactly torn apart the best opposition in this tournament. So I think we should just cool the jets a little. They've done well, they've done enough, but that's all they've done so far.
Well, yes, they've played fairly easy teams so far, and they haven't had they had a good performance in the group stage, thrashing of one of the teams, scoring 7 goals, I believe. But like I've said, if they win the next 2 games, they gain momentum going into the final. So, and when you're in the final, anything can happen. It's a winner take all. What happened 2 years ago in the Euros? Nobody thought Portugal could be friends. What happened? They gained momentum through the group stage. When they got to the final, they won. So, despite England playing easy teams, I still believe they can take it.
Carried away, Craig, in your mind?
No, I mean, I think it's understandable. Pundits are getting carried away, some of them. Supporters, certainly, some of the journalists. But it's almost like... And I totally understand that. Like...
Yes, I understand too why they've got, well, you can say carried away. Yes, they've gotten cocky. The England supporters, the pundits from England, the even the players. I can see why they got cocky. This is England we're talking about. It's not exactly, they haven't exactly had a bunch of success in the last decade, or even before that. They won a World Cup a long time ago when the picture was black and white. When you would watch the TV, it was black and white. So it's a long time ago. So I could see them getting hyped for this World Cup, but the England players shouldn't get too cocky, because being too cocky is not good. And just as you know, you can be losing to Sweden the next game. So yes, have they been getting carried away with the "it's coming home" chants, all of this and that? Well, yes, but it's actually good to believe in yourself, because when you believe in yourself, you can make it far.
The Iceland result,
Yep.
which was a disaster. In the Euros, you had bottom of the group in Brazil World Cup, which just isn't good enough from an England perspective. So I can understand it, but the upside is I think England can play better than what we've seen. Although Harry Kane's got a hatful of goals, most of them from penalties, there's still more to come from this England team. So I would be pretty positive about it. But
Well, they should be. And they're playing Sweden, by the way. You know, it's they're not playing a team that are going to outplay them. The only way England lose this...
Brazil, they're not...
Well, yes, Sweden isn't a big team, but they finished first in the group with Mexico and Germany. They did lose to Germany. They shouldn't have lost that game. They ended 2-1 with a cross last minute goal, an amazing goal, by the way. But besides that, they played a very good tournament so far. They finished first in the group. They really, for the most part, they played better than Germany in that game, and they thrashed Mexico in the last game, and they beat a fairly good Switzerland team. So I wouldn't say it's easy. It's gonna be a good match, but I do expect England to win.
Playing Belgium.
No.
Or they're playing Sweden.
Yeah, the only way they lose this is if they get bullied. Because if they don't get bullied, they'll win this game, because they're better than Sweden.
I actually thought they would come a cropper to Colombia. We did all these predictors, 300 of them. I had a 1-0 win, just because I thought South Americans, tough, gritty, all the tricks, with a little bit of flair. And England's recent knockout stage results hadn't been great. I mean, it almost went that way. But now they're over that. Now they've got the penalty thing out of the way as well. I think they'll beat Sweden. I really think it's going to take a bad England performance or some disastrous individual mistakes not to get to a semi-final.
Gab Marcotti is with us too from Moscow. Gab, give us your latest assessment on England, whether you think those odds are fair and how you think they're going to get on against Sweden.
Well, I mean, look, I think the odds are what they are because of the draw, as you guys mentioned, right? I think there's probably 3 teams that on paper are probably better than England, and they all happen to be on the other side of the draw, and it's Brazil, Belgium, and France. So because of that, the run to the final seems clear. We've seen this so many times before, people getting overexcited and people get...
And that might also be a big factor. Brazil, Belgium, and France being on one side and England being on another. England could get into the final without a scratch, but England, Brazil, and Brazil, Belgium, and France, they'll have to play each other to get to the final, and it'll be tough because they'll play each other, and it's gonna be a really gritty and grindy game, and they'll probably go into the final. Both the next two the Belgium-Brazil game can go into extra time, and the France-Uruguay game, no, I think France will win that game. But France, whoever wins between Brazil and Belgium, that might go to extra time. And getting to the final, they might be a little fatigued over in the England side, which played two fairly easy teams, and get well rested into the final. So that will also be a big factor for England.
Deal out of the penalties and the psychological block, but you know what? Most of these guys haven't lost on penalties before in a major tournament, so I don't even know how much of a block it was for them. I think, well, you take the positives, and one was they were generally unflappable. I thought they were mentally very strong in a game that could have boiled over Colombia. They showed toughness. They got the better of a different type of opponent from the ones that they faced before, and onwards and upwards. But having watched a lot of Sweden in this tournament, I agree, they're not particularly good. They got through on a deflected goal. They even qualified for the World Cup, as I, as an Italian, sadly know, because of a deflected goal. But I'll tell you what, they're organized, they're disciplined, they are big, they never give up. And as you guys were saying, you really don't want to underestimate Sweden or look past them and think that you're already in the semifinal. That would be a really big mistake.
Yes, I agree. You can't overlook Sweden. You can't get too cocky and say, oh, well, we're playing Sweden, a fairly small team, we're going to find in semifinal. You can't do that. They have to go out and really win this game, like really try. So yeah, do I think England has a good chance to make it to the final? Yeah, I believe they'll make it to the final. But anyways, that will be all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll have more content on the way. Anyways, well, thanks for watching, guys.